The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
What's going on, fan-fans and Tolos? It's Troy Hughes, and you're listening to the Drunk Sports Podcast with Big Red and IndyCar Tim. These guys are talking sports, current events, guy stuff, and everything in between. And maybe some inside information about myself that I don't know about. Either way, they can't track down the credit card receipts. Now open up a cold one and drink along, because here they are, Lance and Tim.
You can buy me a drink.
We're all drunk.
Absolutely.
Absolutely indeed. And hello, and welcome to this episode of the Drunk Sports Podcast. I am IndyCar Tim, along with my favorite partner in the whole world.
I'm still Big Red, baby.
He is Big Red, and he is just flying in under the wire.
Out of breath.
Pulling the curtain back a little bit. Lance played golf today and literally walked in the door about 4 minutes ago. And what a trooper, man.
Man, we're going to do it. We're going to be good. We're going to be good.
A trooper.
Hey, we got a new little segment we're going to throw out there. Johnny Gerb's Big Red Project.
This is going to be a golf segment, isn't it?
Hey, well, yeah, I mean, we're just going to talk about
I'm okay with that.
all the balls that I hit, and if I get any better. If I don't, I mean, hell, I got to be better than.
Well, you were bragging last week about how you're going to kick everybody's ass today.
Well, it didn't work out that way.
It never does.
But I still came home with money.
That's why it's fun.
I still came home with money. I didn't play very well, but I still won money.
Well, that's all that matters. But you had fun.
That's why
golf is still fun,
that's
right?
why they have handicaps.
So, yes, welcome to the show. We've got a sports-packed show for you tonight. We're going to go over the absolutely count, which is significantly higher than most weeks because someone got a little drunk on the air last week.
Maybe I cannot confirm, nor will I deny that.
Maybe just a little bit. We've got some apologies and corrections. Oh, just a couple, though, not going too deep into that. And they're both me. Hugs and high fives. We got some Lenny Dykstra talk back in the news.
Nails.
Antonio Brown, of course, back in the news. Andrew Luck's hurt again. A little bit. We're going to get into a little bit of political talk.
Oh.
With one
really?
Curt Schilling.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. Okay.
So it's good political talk. NFLPA talk. They're anticipating a work stoppage or a lockout. We'll get into that a little bit. Our buddy Josh Hamilton is going into the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame tomorrow. I have some mixed feelings about that.
Yeah, kind of here, there. I'm okay with it to an extent, but yeah, I mean, he kind of left a sour taste in my mouth when he left town.
He didn't leave on the best of terms, so we'll talk about that. I've
Besides
got some mixed
the fact
feelings.
His wife is now dating a 20-something.
She can go to hell, dude. I don't give a crap about.
She probably
her.
will.
She ruined him.
She probably will.
Little Brooks Koepka talk.
Oh.
A short amount of Brooks Koepka talk. I'm not going to get too much into that, but he really could have had a high five. We'll probably get into some Zeke and Dak talk. We're definitely going to get into some Cowboys talk.
We'll do some more
We got to do that every week because that's what everybody wants to hear. We're definitely going to get into some Cowboys training camp talk. The DallasCowboys.com beat writers every year put out their best 15 Cowboys players of training camp, and there are some surprising names on the list this year. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But first and foremost, to kick it all off, let's talk about some absolutely's.
Uh-oh.
For those of you not familiar, listening for the first time, wherever you've been.
If you followed along and you played by the rules, you may have been a little screwed up by the end of the show.
So last week we had an awesome show. Lance's buddy Rick Ackberger was on with us live in studio. And he, of course, for those of you that are wrestling fans, he is the sign guy. He came in. He was nice enough to come in and talk to us live on the air.
He was awesome, man. It was fun having him around and being a part of it and just doing his thing. And
he was doing his. Where's our sign?
He is.
I didn't even think about the sign.
Uh-oh, hang on. Let me go get it.
Yeah, run and get the sign. We got to have the sign. I don't know what we're going to put it on. So, yes, Rick Agberger joined us. He came on a little bit later in the show. We'd done a couple of regular segments before we got into too much wrestling talk. Neither Lance or I really watched too much wrestling. But so we were quite primed for the show. And
Thank you, Rick.
Thanks, Rick. I'm glad you made me number one, though.
Well,
I think that's important that I'm number one.
at least you can be first
Like
in
a
something.
thumbtack or some gum. You got some gum?
I don't know if my wife would like putting gum on the wall, but it'll
Well,
work somehow.
I won't tell if you won't.
No.
So we were quite primed before the show started. That almost works.
Right there. How about that? Bam. I don't have a trash can, but anyway.
That's all right. We got it right there. So, yeah, we were quite primed before the show started. And
When are we not?
Rick came on a little bit late in the show, and it was after a break. And Lance had a few more to drink than I had. And he was a little more, we'll just say he was a little more primed than I was.
We got into the baby blue and a little bit of moonshine, and it was.
We were having apple pie moonshine and Balcones baby blue bourbon.
Thank you.
Two of our favorites.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
And it is what it is.
It was
Yes, thank you,
Mr.
Big
Rogers.
Ben.
It was Mr. Rogers' neighborhood in here for sure.
We were in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. So let's just say it was really tough for Lance to stay on topic.
Well, I mean,
I was trying to do a legitimate interview with my professional interview skills.
It's not hard for Lance to get off topic.
Lance got a little off topic.
I hear that from our brother Jeb quite often. I mean, he keeps telling me, y'all are good, but
Stay on topic.
stay on topic.
They were all trying to get us to stay on topic last week.
Well,
But it is what it is, and he had a good time.
it's our show. We can do what we want to.
Absolutely. So if
Absolutely.
if you missed last week, we encourage you to podcast it, watch the video, whatever you want. We are on
Hi,
iTunes.
Landry.
We are on Spotify. We are on, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, Stitcher Radio, Public, iHeartRadio. We're also on the radio.com app. Because of our good buddies over the Highlands Performance Golf Center, we don't want to forget to mention them, the sponsor of the show.
Absolutely.
We love those guys. 2538 Golden Bear Drive in Carrollton. 972-733-4111 is their phone number.
I'm glad you got a memory.
Full-service golf training facility. They've got 12-month access to the tee boxes.
It's not 24
You
months.
can do
but
24 months if you want.
You could probably buy a 24-month membership.
You could do that. They've got heated tees. They have covered tees for when it's raining, but they're open every day of the year except for
Christmas.
for some reason. Open until 10 o'clock every night. Of course, so they have lights. They've got a 10,000-square-foot putting green.
Just so Bus and Gerb were both planning on being here, but Bus has to close tonight,
Uh-oh.
and Gerb has to open tomorrow.
Gerb had to close last week, so he couldn't be here.
So
We appreciate those guys very much for the support they give the show, and they are showing some support to all of you people because for the listeners of the Drunk Sports Podcast, who we affectionately like to refer to as our Drunk Sports Podtards and our Drunk Dudes and Dolls, they are offering for the month of August, so we got about half the month left to go. I'm sure we could talk them into extending it throughout
I
the
bet
summer.
we can.
If you show up to the Highlands Performance Golf Center in the month of August and you mention either IndyCar Tim or Big Red, you get 15% off your bucket of balls.
Absolutely.
And that is a world-class facility, a world-class
It's
operation
awesome,
they got
man.
going
It's
on
awesome
out
out
there. Awesome little putting mini golf course they got. They're not all little par threes and stuff. They got some par four mini golf holes. They're freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Full-blown event center, company parties, weddings, whatever you want to do. I think we need to have a company party out there for just the two of us.
We just can't have a wedding.
Oh, God, we're not allowed to get married anymore.
Nope, I'm out on that.
So special thanks to the Highlands Performance Golf Center, Mr. John Gerber, Mr. Chris Bussell, and their golf fitness instructor that they have, Chris Ownby. We appreciate all of them. So the absolutely count is when we first started the podcast, we found out very quickly that Lance had a drunk crutch word, and it was?
Absolutely.
It was absolutely, and he
Still
referenced that word several times throughout the first couple of episodes. So we made a show drinking game out of it.
I don't even know
where-
if it's a crutch word anymore. It's just something I like to say.
It's just something you'd like to say now, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So we made a drinking game out of it. So anytime you hear me or Lance reference the word absolutely during the show, do a shot.
Yes.
Take a chug. Shotgun a beer. Whatever it is you're drinking, wherever you are, unless you're driving. Don't drink and drive. Then you can do a shot when you hear the word. And what we do is we go back and listen to the episode from the week before, and we tell you the total so you can play catch-up if you weren't there. So this week it is 16, Big Red.
Wow.
16.
Kind of overloaded, I guess.
A couple of those absolutelys were less than the right number of syllables.
Sweat socks in my mouth or something, maybe?
Good Lord,
That's
dude.
what my wife says whenever I get a little drunk. She says, I've got sweat socks in my mouth. And depending on the level, it goes from sweat socks to a pair of sweat socks to sweatpants. So, I mean, bless Stacy. We both love her, but she tolerates a lot of business.
Well, you know, we've each had episodes where one of us was extremely hammered. My most recent one, I think, was 22 or 21 when we had the great Mike Fisher in studio with us.
Fish.
Where I couldn't even finish the show. We had to stop it. Well, I say early. We were 2 hours in, but we had to stop it.
But we could have gone 4 hours.
I was pretty much incoherent by the time and I don't remember packing up.
God bless Fish.
Home. And then last week it was you. So the only thing we have not had is a week where both of us acted a fool.
Ready?
What would that sound like?
Are you ready?
Good Lord. I got partying to do later tonight. I can't do that.
So do I.
And I'm on my motorcycle.
I'm going with you.
I got to get my motorcycle
We
home.
can make that some bitch run like a little scooter. We'll run our feet. Fred Flintstone that some bitch home.
So Drunk Sports Pod-Tards, Drunk Dudes and Dolls, have your 16 shots, 16 chugs, 16 beers to shotgun, whatever you want to do.
Real quick
to play catch up.
We have one. We have a shout out.
Yep, let's give the shout out. I can't
shout
see
out.
anything with this applause sign in front of
Jeremy Pellegrin is in the house.
Jeremy.
Thank you, baby. And the prettiest.
Who's the guest?
The prettiest girl in our neighborhood, Miss Landry, is with.
There she is.
With her daddy, and I mean she is pretty. She's always pretty.
Look at that
she's
dress.
Dressed up. I mean, she's ready to do a little dance recital or something. She's got something going on.
She's dressed to impress.
Thank you, Miss Landry, for coming to see us.
And
we
Daddy
love
hopes
you.
she's only dressed to impress him.
Well,
I got two of them, so I trust me.
Mine's a little older, but
mine are older, but I remember.
Thank you, Landry,
well.
for bringing Daddy down. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys coming out for sure. Let's get into some apologies and corrections, as we mentioned about 10 minutes ago.
My bad.
But, hey, this show's all about getting off topic quickly. And really, we've only got a couple, and they were all me. We just referenced how inebriated you were throughout the episode, but somehow I'm the one with apologies and corrections.
I'm sorry.
So we'll get into that. For some reason, my tongue wasn't working, and I was not nearly as drunk as you were. Do you remember? I don't even know if you remember this.
Probably not.
When I called myself Big Red?
No, I
think it was going into a break or coming out of a break when I said the Drunk Sports Podcast, I'm Big Red.
What? I mean, you may have been if you had any more.
So I would never impersonate you, sir, and I would never attempt that. I also referenced our studio as Studio 64.
Yes,
you
I remember that. I do recall that.
I have no idea where that came from. So, of course, this is Studio 69 at Casa Nacho
Who's the
Grande.
greatest number 64 that ever played for the Cowboys?
64.
Number 64.
You had to throw out an odd number, didn't you?
You're the one that said it. You brought up 64. I'm just trying to make.
Well, you brought up
make it sports
jersey
related.
numbers. I don't know. Why don't you look that up while I vamp?
You vamp.
I did the show prep.
You always
so
do.
Both of those things we have to apologize for. Sometimes that list is much longer, but I'm sure if we listened hard enough, we could have come up with tons more. So let's get into some show hugs and high fives while we go through this. And this is somebody that we have referenced on the show recently in the name of one Lenny Dykstra. Lance, do you remember Lenny Dykstra's story that we talked about a few weeks ago?
Nails.
He was in the news because he lost his $80,000 dentures in the dumpster of a sub-sandwich shop in New Jersey.
Dumpster diving, yes.
And had the little midget clown buddy, and Sprinkles the Clown.
Sprinkles the Clown.
Someone actually named Sprinkles the Clown was helping him find his dentures, which I believe they eventually did. But they went to social media and Twitter begging for help to help find those $80,000 dentures that Lenny Dykstra had.
Greatest cowboy to ever wear number 64.
Tom Rafferty.
Tom Rafferty.
There you go.
Don't take them in a minute. GTS,
so
baby.
shout out to the great
GTS.
Tom Rafferty and
Yes,
Dallas
sir.
Cowboys. I remember him. So this time, he was not dumpster diving for dentures. But according to TMZ, Lenny Dykstra has agreed to a boxing match against the Bagel Boss guy, whose name is Chris Morgan. Now, are you aware of the Bagel Boss TV show?
No. No, I don't.
It's on one. I've watched it once or twice. It's one of these Food Network shows, I believe. And it's funny. These, so-called celebrity chefs, and this guy's not even a celebrity chef. He has his own show, which is more than I can say. So as the article,
We have our own show.
and this is from NBC Sports Philadelphia, says people who spend too much time on the internet will remember him for his freak out inside of a bagel shop in Long Island. But it only gets weirder. The two boxers are now known for all the wrong reasons, which is why promoter Damon Feldman will put them in the ring to fight. And guess who's refereeing the case? And I only know this guy's name. I'm not familiar with his work. But I do recognize the name Bam Margera.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know who he is, but I know
This
the name.
dude from
Buttlicks or whatever the show was.
Jackass.
Jackass. So
Jackass.
not the guy, the other guy
Bam
that
was the dude that
not
always,
Johnny Knoxville, right?
If you ever watched Jackass,
never did.
Bam was always the dude that beat the hell out of his daddy.
Oh, that doesn't sound like
Well, I
good
mean,
TV.
he would just show up and just.
Sounds like my house.
Well, I mean, maybe.
So I know of Johnny Knoxville. Is
Zach-
this guy as famous as Johnny Knoxville?
Zach may be the next Bam Margera.
God, I hope he has higher aspirations than that idiot. The bout is scheduled for September 7th in Atlantic City. It's unclear if Lenny Dykstra will be wearing his dentures during the bout. So a show hug to Lenny Dykstra
So there's
that mess.
There's a possibility that he found them.
No, we know he found them. It was in the story earlier. He found that. He found the dentures.
Maybe I don't remember.
Unless he's lost them. Well, we've drank since then.
Probably.
So we don't know.
Yep.
Big show hug for Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. Did you hear this story, Big Red?
I'm sure I
this
did.
was a good
I just
one.
don't remember it.
So it's his first year as the Titans offensive coordinator. Arthur Smith is still learning how to do his job, and he's apparently also learning how to be a human being. He had to apologize to rookie wide receiver A.J. Brown after yelling at him, laying on the ground while he was hurt. Oh. He's learning how to coach. When Brown went down during a drill on the first day of camp, Smith barked at him for not completing the drill properly, not realizing Brown was aggravated, he probably was aggravated. He aggravated a hamstring injury, which would keep him out of practice for more than 2 weeks. Finish, Smith yelled that day. Stop freaking falling down and finish. He didn't say freaking, though. He used coach speak.
It's our show. You can
Now
do what
that
you want.
Brown has returned to work, Smith has had the grace to apologize. Get this. After his wife made sure he was aware why he needed to. His wife made him apologize.
Well, that's why we have good women in our lives.
That's not very football, though.
That's why we have good women in our
That
lives.
doesn't sound very coaching to me.
They let us know when we need to apologize. But
I felt like a
sometimes they
jerk,
just- Shh.
he said. God, mine tells me that all the time.
Yep.
I didn't know he was hurt.
I know
I
she does. I hear it
apologized
all the time.
to AJ. That moment you go back and you look at it, we were just trying to get him to finish. There's a lot of rookies, and you're trying to get the right thing going and set the culture. Coach Mike Vrabel has done a great job doing it. We're trying to implement it. A lot of rookies, you're just trying to remind them. So the intent was not to humiliate him. He didn't know he was hurt. But his wife made him apologize.
Your wife makes you apologize all the time.
Every day.
Yeah.
I should make her do the apologies and corrections segment.
Oh, damn it.
So, show hug to one Antonio Brown. Much maligned former Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver. Now
not
Oakland Raiders receiver.
Oakland Raider, yeah.
So, you and I watched that episode of Hard Knocks the other night when he froze his feet in the cryo.
Well, it was before that, but
Well, they talked about it.
Right. He froze his feet in France.
Oh, my gosh, those were so disgusting.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah, it's nasty. The pictures
Oh,
were,
it was bad.
were not good. No, but
But this isn't even what we're giving him a hug for. This
Because-
is the helmet dispute.
but you have to stand up for Gruden for standing up for his player. Said that the frozen feet is not his fault, and
But
the
it
helmet
was his fault.
Well, Okay, yeah.
I mean, Gruden can stand up for him all he wanted, and he has to, because that's the best player on his team.
Yeah.
But
the helmet thing is a personal thing, and they're going to support him. But from what they've said, the NFL has said, nope, you can't wear it, and you will either not collect a check or wear the shit you're supposed to wear.
So the article from the New York Post says Brown, who has yet to suit up for Oakland due to a cryotherapy incident, which left him with frostbitten feet, disputed an ESPN report that he committed to sitting out the entire season if he was not allowed to wear the same type of helmet he wore with the Steelers, now deemed unsafe by the league.
He folded like a cheap suit on
So that story came out, and he denied it.
He folded like a cheap suit.
He says, I don't know where they got that, who made that up either, Brown said following Thursday's preseason game, where he watched from the sidelines, by the way. Why would I retire, man? I got a beautiful career. I'm healthy. I love to play the game. I'm grateful to play the game. End quote. Brown looked close enough to full strength while running routes at University of Phoenix Stadium wearing the new model helmet. The 31-year-old reportedly showed up at Raiders team activities wearing his old helmet with a coat of silver and black paint. I wonder if he did that in his garage.
Well, I mean, have we not seen spoofs on it?
Yes.
Yes, we have.
The team told him that wasn't allowed, and he lost a grievance earlier this week, which he attempted to hold the league liable if he suffers an injury because of the new helmet. So, Mr. Antonio Brown, you deserve a show hug because you, as I've said for many years,
nice try, jackass.
Are an idiot.
Nice try, jackass.
One of these days I'm going to hit that thing. Show hug.
Hug.
Because I really like this guy. And he hasn't had the best of luck as far as injuries, and I use the word luck as a hint about who I'm talking about. Colts quarterback. I almost just said Baltimore Colts quarterback Andrew Luck.
It's still greatness.
How old am I?
Still greatness.
Jeez.
Still greatness.
I had to catch myself. Reports are that the Colts have guarded optimism about Andrew Luck being ready for Week 1. This is from Sports Illustrated. There is reportedly a guarded optimism about quarterback Andrew Luck being ready for the Colts' regular season opener against the Chargers on Sunday, September 8th, according to Chris Mortensen. And we know Chris Mortensen always tells the truth. Luck is currently dealing with an injury to his high left ankle that is a result of the calf strain he also is battling. Colts general manager Chris Ballard said Tuesday that Luck will likely miss all of the preseason due to the injuries, but wasn't ready to say whether or not he would start in the first game. He did say that the Colts are not shutting Luck down, but continuing to rehab him as he recovers. So do you remember he missed all of 2017?
Yep.
Shoulder
problem, right?
I didn't think it was neck or shoulder. Yeah, I didn't think we'd ever see him again.
And he came back. He came back with a vengeance last year. When he finally got back in, he was.
He was good in 2018.
Coming from the fantasy side,
right?
The dude was awesome.
Threw for 4,593 yards and 39 touchdowns while leading the Colts back to the playoffs.
And without this, would have been easily a top 5 quarterback fantasy-wise.
Oh, easy. And going into the playoffs, they were hot. They got hot towards the end of the season.
They whipped our ass.
And they were one of the favorites along with
ass.
New England going in. Yeah, they beat the Cowboys in the regular season.
Yep.
And beat them bad.
Yeah. Made us look bad.
Here's why the Colts should do whatever they can on the planet Earth to rehab Andrew Luck. Because do you know who is behind Andrew Luck on the Indianapolis Colts roster?
I do not, but I know that you will tell me, so let me have it.
Do you know one Jacoby Brissett?
Jacoby Brissett.
Who is currently their number 2. From NC State, from Florida, he was picked number 91 overall in the 3rd round by the Patriots. Won a Super Bowl ring with the Patriots in 2016.
Of course he did.
Has done nothing in the league, obviously backing up Tom over there. Next on the depth chart, one Phillip Walker, undrafted out of Temple in 2017.
That's why I don't know him.
Never heard of him either.
Nope.
But do you know who is fourth on the depth chart now?
Nope.
You'll recognize this name, and I had no idea the Colts had signed him in camp. One Chad Kelly from Ole Miss.
Oh.
Jim Kelly's nephew.
Jim Kelly's nephew. The problem child.
The problem child, the black sheep of the family, who was kicked off the Denver Broncos team last year.
Mm-hmm.
did not know that he had been picked up by the Colts. So he's probably the most talented of the backups, but he won't make the squad. There's no way. He's going to do something to screw that up. And here's something that has some local flavor to it, kind of. And this is another show hug. Dang it, did you hit it again?
No, I hit the damn stand.
Came closer than me. So,
at least I hit something solid.
We've been following the Cowboys pretty closely in training camp, and we've heard news of Dak's progress, maybe his lack of progress, depending on who you listen to. Can you tell me how far and how hard the internet would absolutely break if Dak Prescott was reported to have thrown 5 consecutive interceptions in a practice?
I heard about this today. I did. And
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep. JG.
5 consecutive passes in practice.
Jimmy G. Yep.
Picked off.
5 consecutive interceptions. And, yes, the internet would probably break. But then I would
We barely heard about this.
I would just sit there and do this.
Because you'd feel like you were right.
Vindicated.
Well, just know that will not happen. That would never happen.
At some level.
So, we barely heard about this. It was noted on some internet sites. It was all over social media. I'm not aware that ESPN or anybody reported this nationally as a big deal. But dude, if Dak had done it,
oh yeah,
there would be video of it. There would be memes about it. It would be everywhere.
They'd be pulling out the old David Carr video where David Carr just annihilated.
And you cannot tell me that San Francisco's defense is just that good, because they're not.
Nope.
I mean, their secondary is not bad, but they're not that good. So, I certainly hope Jimmy Garoppolo throws 5 interceptions in every game, because I hate the freaking 49ers.
Well, you hate them from back in our day, back in the old days, whenever.
Got it.
Did you clip it?
I got it.
Okay. Well.
Dude, I hate them from going back to the 70s. I mean, I don't remember this, but I was aware of this, that, 71 and 72, Dallas faced them in the playoffs, in the NFC Championship game. Well, NFL Championship.
My hatred just goes back to the catch.
Well, that's where it started for the modern era, for sure.
So
freaking Dwight Clark.
Yeah.
The ball that Joe Montana was supposedly throwing away.
God rest you, brother.
Everson Walls sitting there watching him catch it.
God rest Dwight Clark.
Screw you, Everson. Not a Cowboy. Not my Cowboy.
He would be.
Oh, Everson Walls. Hey, let's talk some golf, because we have our first show high five. Mr. Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Or as the rest of the tour calls him, DeChamSLOW.
Yeah. The human rain delay.
So with slow play questions following him from New Jersey to Illinois, Bryson DeChamSLOW had a colorful reply to those still hounding him about a putt he hit a week ago.
It took him 2 minutes, over 2 minutes to hit an
8-foot
putt.
He became the center of slow play firestorm at the Northern Trust when a video went viral showing him taking more than 2 minutes to hit an 8-foot putt.
I've seen it 4 times on the Golf Channel. I mean, it's agonizing.
It was bad.
It is. And after he missed the 8-foot putt and he had a 3-footer coming back, he still reached in his back pocket, pulled the sheet out to look at it. Dude, you got 3-footer coming back. Bang it in the back.
Hit it. You saw the line.
Bang it in the back of the cup and be done.
You saw the line.
And he pulled the book out and looked at it and went back to reading it again. I'm like, come on.
So this is a firestorm. It sparked a discussion that included input from fans, tour players, and then Tuesday, the Players Advisory Council moved slow play up their list of talking points during a regularly scheduled meeting.
It's also where we're going to get into Koepka talk.
Yes. DeChambeau himself tweeted that those meetings were great to move solutions on slow play. But after facing criticism for days on social media, he let his guard down at the Pro-Am, the BMW Championship. During Wednesday's round, he recorded a video for another user's Snapchat account, which was subsequently recorded and made the rounds in a more public manner. In the video, DeChambeau remains unapologetic, noting that despite the viral putt, he was never on the clock last week at Liberty National.
It doesn't matter if you're on the clock or not. If it takes you 2 minutes to hit an 8-foot putt, and then you go back to the book for a 3-foot coming back. I mean, it's nuts.
So here's how you know that his head is not right. Okay, if you're going to be criticized for slow play,
it's not that his head's not right. He's got too many damn numbers.
Well, okay. How about I'll rephrase that. His attitude is not right. If you're being criticized for slow play as a tour player, would you just maybe try to play a little faster? Maybe figure out ways where you can be faster. You know, if you got to line your shot up, you do that once a round. Whatever. It's an 8-foot putt, then it's a 3-foot putt. Whatever.
It's because of the slow players that I played with in my life that I do not take a practice swing during a round of golf.
Well, here's where his head is. DeChambeau has become one of the most outspoken voices in the slow play debate earlier this year, lobbying tour officials to factor how fast a player walks in between shots, not just how long it takes him to hit a shot upon arrival. So he's making excuses.
Thank you, Mr. Stathead.
Good Lord, dude.
Yeah,
so I'm giving him a high five because, number one, he's an idiot, and I love people that spit in the face of officials, which is kind of what he's doing. But he better up his game.
He is from Smoo.
He is.
Oh
man.
Bam.
Got to catch up again as Lance hits the video camera with the sheet. One high five from the show, from us, to Mr. Curt Schilling.
Love me some Curt Schilling.
I do love Curt Schilling, and this was all
bloody sock and all.
Oh, especially the bloody sock in. What was that, 04?
Long time ago.
Don't
ask me.
Terrific. Trump Hell's potential congressional run by Curt Schilling. President Donald Trump on Tuesday appeared to endorse a political congressional bid by former Major League Baseball player Curt Schilling in Arizona. Curt Schilling, a great pitcher and patriot, is considering a run for Congress in Arizona. Terrific, Trump tweeted, roughly 45 minutes after Fox and Friends released about his information about his potential campaign.
I may move to Arizona just to vote for him.
Schilling on Sunday told Armed American Radio he is considering going back to Arizona and running for a congressional seat, one of the blue ones, he said. And on Monday, in a statement to the Arizona Republic, he is absolutely considering entering a race to oust one of the 5 Democrats representing Arizona in the House of Representatives. This state is not the state I grew up in, making Arizona citizens of every race, religion, and sexual orientation second-class citizens to illegal immigrants is about as anti-American as it gets, Schilling wrote in an email to the Republic. When you have homeless veterans, children, and you're spending tax dollars on people smuggling drugs and children across our border, someone in charge needs their butt kicked, he said. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like the meme we always see about the Chick-fil-A line. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
If whoever devised the Chick-fil-A drive-through they did
it right.
Department of Motor Vehicles and the government, the world may be a whole lot better. So,
agreed.
Move in, move on.
They move fast, man. They move fast. So, there's one thing I will disagree.
I still won't sit in line for them.
I don't often disagree with President Trump, but here's one thing I will disagree with.
Uh-oh.
Curt Schilling deserves to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Great record, especially when under pressure and when it matters most, Trump wrote online in January. Do what everyone in baseball knows is right. Don. So Curt Schilling does not belong in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
You don't think?
No. I do not think.
What's his career now?
I don't have his stats. I should have been more prepared.
Let me pull those up for you, and we will discuss those.
He does not belong in the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. Schilling responded to that. Thank you, Mr. President. Do not give in on any of it. We are behind you. But if you'll remember, Schilling has a history of offensive statements. Don't know if you're aware of his broadcast history and social media posts. He said former Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton should be buried under a jail somewhere in March of 2016 and was fired by ESPN in April.
And you disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree with that part.
Okay.
April 2016 from his role as a baseball analyst after sharing an anti-transgender meme on Facebook.
So Curt Schilling's numbers.
Okay.
His career numbers. His WAR is 79.5.
WAR doesn't get you in the Hall of Fame.
Nope. 216 wins, 146 losses. Career ERA.
Okay.
I'll take a guess.
7.8.
Come on, son.
Oh, sorry, that was only in Philadelphia.
3.46.
Nope, that doesn't get you in.
589 games, 436 games started, 22 saves, 3,261 innings pitched.
What's the strikeout numbers?
3,116 strikeouts.
In how many innings?
3,261. It's pretty stout. It's pretty stout, son.
All right, I will put him in the Red Sox Hall of Fame.
With a whip of 1.137. That's tough.
Yeah,
that's
not
tough.
bad. That's not bad. I don't know if that's Hall of Fame numbers, though.
Maybe not.
All right, I might be able to be convinced.
At worst, it's borderline.
I might be able to be convinced.
The man needs to make it before we die.
Well, you know who else needs to make it? And we're going to do an entire show on this one day. All-time hits leader.
We
need to have him on. You know what? I think we could get him on.
There is no doubt that man needs to be in.
We're talking about Pete Rose for you.
Charlie Hustle, baby. Charlie Hustle,
it's been long enough.
One of the single greatest all-time baseball players of all time. Yes. And I would be willing to bet that we could make a couple of phone calls, and he may come to Studio 69 to do it.
Dude, as long as we've got beer, he'll show up.
You can't hit the damn camera, son.
I hit it once. We need to start keeping stats. We need somebody here to watch and keep stats.
Well, our producers are not here.
Nobody's here.
Mine's working, and yours is absent.
Here, do you want to talk about this dude since you kind of brought that up?
Oh, so, and yeah.
Are we giving him a hug or a high five? I don't really know.
I think he needs more of a high five.
Okay.
Because we're talking about.
Because he's putting family first.
But
or is he?
That way, if we're talking about it that way, it's more of a hug. But David Ragen from NASCAR, 30. What did we decide?
31 years old.
31
years.
Right
right there somewhere. I gave it to you.
I'm not even going to look at this.
At all?
I appreciate you printing it out, but I may read it. Okay,
so read it.
David Ragen is retiring from full-time NASCAR, and I have a lot of NASCAR buddies here in the neighborhood, and we go to races, we follow races, we follow NASCAR, but David Ragen has decided that he is done driving full-time. So he has decided that he is going to take a part-time driving schedule to spend some additional time with his family. David Ragen has won how many races, Tim?
2 races
in his career. And his best finish in the Monster Cup Series is 13th?
13th.
13th.
And it was, 12 years ago, in 07, I want to say.
Yeah, at the earliest. Or at the whenever. So what that makes me think is Big Red Lance Dorsett is going to go on a hiatus, and I think I'm going to work.
Don't leave me.
Half the time.
I can't drive this car by myself.
Spend some additional time with my wife.
Big Red.
I'm going to not work near as much, and I'm going to spend some time with my wife and my daughter and my stepson, and maybe run a bar and cook a little bit. But I'm done making the money that I make for a while. It's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Now, I don't know much about the team that he's on.
That tells you how much money these dudes make, man. It's dumb.
So I don't know the finances of the team that he's on. I don't know anything about the team that he's on, if they have any success outside of him, how many other drivers they have, or how many other cars they have.
Do we know what team he's on?
Is there? It's on there, yeah.
It's got to be on here.
So is there any possibility that
he's on Front Row Motorsports. And on Wednesday, Ragen announced his decision to step away from full-time competition after this season, but said he would remain open to competing on a part-time basis in various series. So he believes that he is good enough. He is good enough to work on a part-time basis. He's won 2 races in his career. That's like me saying, you know what? somebody comes up with a good project. I'm an IT project manager. Somebody comes up with a project good enough, and you know what? You pay me enough, maybe I'll show up, maybe I won't, but we'll just put it on the back burner and see what happens.
So let me throw this out there. Again, I don't know the team. I don't know anything about Front Row Motorsports. I don't know any of the other drivers, if they have any, how many cars they run, how many races they run. I know nothing about anything about that. Is there a possibility they asked him to do this? He obviously has a lack of success, correct? NASCAR, like any other sport.
Why would Front Row Motorsports ask him to take a back seat? If Front Row Motorsports,
because he sucks.
If my company asked me to take a part-time gig, I think, and I wanted to work and I wanted to make money, I think I would probably find another company to work for, because somebody will hire me.
We just read his track record. Literal track record.
Literal.
So is there a chance?
2 wins, 15 top 5s, and 40 top 10 finishes, and 2 poles.
Is there a chance that they've got an up-and-coming younger driver?
His most recent Cup win was in 2013 at Talladega, which is a great.
By the way, the Indy cars are at Pocono. I'm thinking Pocono. Indy cars are at Pocono this weekend. Might be the last ever IndyCar race at Pocono. The track that was built specifically for Indy cars.
If you've never been to either one of those places, get there as soon as you can, because it is an awesome experience. I went with guys from the neighborhood and guys that I've met to Talladega, and it was an experience I will never soon forget. But Front Row Motorsports.
I'm just throwing that out there. Is it possible that he
see you, sweetheart,
is being asked
you leaving
to leave? Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Landry.
That's a pretty dress. Can I borrow that sometime?
It is a pretty dress.
She's like, stranger danger.
No, yeah, stranger danger. Don't.
Hey, my own kids do that to me sometimes. It's all good.
All right, guys. Love you, brother.
Appreciate you coming out, man. I don't know. I was just throwing that out there. It's a possibility. Maybe they just don't want him back.
Oh, but he also owns a total of 2 Xfinity Series wins and 1 ARCA race.
So apparently, reading his background, he was quite successful in the Truck Series. And that's what got him a ride in Xfinity and then up to Cup.
What?
But still, it's the trucks. But it is what it is. David Ragen. Lance has decided to give you a show. What do we say? High five?
You know what? I'm going to give him a high five. I'm not going to give him a hug. But you know what? To give him a hug, to have the intestinal fortitude to take a break and to spend time with your family, I'm all about.
Hey, yeah, if you're going to spend it that way,
yeah, I mean,
nobody can argue with that.
If you're going to do that, then I'm with you. Otherwise, I mean, if it's Jimmy Johnson and you've won all the world championships that he's won, six time,
yeah.
So
you pretty much write your own ticket at that point.
Exactly. Of course, it's a whole different story now with him. So
all right, we are the Drunk Sports Podcast. I'm IndyCar Tim. He is Big Red. We're going to take a quick break, pay some bills. It won't be long. You'll hear it on the podcast. You will hear it on the video. We're going to shut our mics off, though, and I believe Lance's dogs are outside behind me. I probably need to let them in. So we will be right back after this.
Are you struggling with your golf game? Do you not get up and down as frequently as you should? Do you struggle making 6, 7, 8 foot putts? Well, it's because you don't do one thing. Practice. Hi, this is Chris Bussell, General Manager of the Highlands Performance Golf Center in Carrollton, Texas. The Golf Center is North Dallas's premier practice facility with over 65 grass tees, 2 putting greens, a short game area, and covered heated tees. You can practice your game all year round. Located in Carrollton off Trinity Mills Road between Marsh and Midway, we're open until 10 p.m. 7 days a week. The other services offered at the Highlands Performance Golf Center are club repair, club regripping, club fitting, TPI fitness classes with Chris Orenby, our certified instructor, an 18-hole mini golf course, 2 junior golf instructors that handle all of our clinics and camps, and 6 Class A members of the PGA of America for all your instructional needs. Come see us at the Golf Center or visit the website at www.highlandspgc.com.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. But when it's time to relax, Miller stands clear. Beer after beer. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. But when it's time to relax, Miller stands clear. Beer after beer. If you've got the time, man, we've got the beer.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's all-new chocolate chip cigarettes. The only cigarettes that give you cavities while you're waiting for the lung cancer to set in.
Hi, friends. It's Chris Bussell, General Manager of the Highlands Performance Golf Center in Carrollton, Texas. The Golf Center is North Dallas's premier practice facility, with over 65 grass tees, 2 putting greens, a short game area, and covered heated tees. It's the best place to practice your game all year round. Come see us in Carrollton, Texas, off Trinity Mills Road, halfway between Marsh and Midway, or visit the website at www.highlandspgc.com. Now back to Big Red and IndyCar Tim.
Dude, that's rough.
That is rough.
Woo!
Thank you to Mr. Chris Bussell and the Highlands Performance Golf Center.
Holy shit, dude, you stink.
I told you that'd be a quick break. I didn't even get to pee. I know,
Wow.
Lance, I heard you pee all the way down the hallway.
That stinks, dude. We need like a 15-minute break so you can clear your.
Good Lord, my bowels need to be evacuated.
Wow,
at
I
this
thought it was
point.
the dogs, but it's not you.
Good
It's not
God,
the, hey,
what did I eat? That's why I
I-
haven't eaten anything.
I'm sorry, Thor. And
I'm
lady.
IndyCar Tim. He is Drunk Big Red Lance Dorsett.
Absolutely.
Give it to me, Lance. Give it to me, Lance. Push, push. Give it to me, Lance.
Big Red. Big Red.
We are live at Studio 69 at Casa Not So Grande. We need to make everybody aware of a road show we have coming up. If you are in the Dallas area, specifically the Plano, Frisco, Carrollton, anywhere around
Allen.
George Bush.
McKinney.
Yes, George Bush and the Tollway. No, Preston. Well, the Tollway, too. It's right there.
121.
Oh, it's 121. Dang
and
it.
Preston.
I don't know anything. I've lived here my whole life. I don't know anything. We will be broadcasting live from Two Brothers Bar and Grill on Preston Road in Plano.
Probably be a pretty heavy fantasy football show.
Yes, we're going to talk some fantasy football for those of you that have been contacting us wanting to discuss such. So come out and hear it live. Come out early. We'll be on the air. We don't really know what time because Lance has his fantasy football draft, and we're going to go on after that. But I'm
Yep.
guessing 8:30, 9, something like that. So come on out a little bit early and do some shots with us. Help us show prep. Let's talk some fantasy football. Let's talk some Dallas Cowboys training camp.
I'm always down for show prep.
Lance is always down for Two Brothers.
I've spent a lot of nights in that place.
I was thinking money.
That too. But
So come on out and join us. That is
don't remind me of the money I've spent there.
August 25th of this year. We will be out there. So we'll be posting more about that on social media. We hope you follow us.
Next Sunday night, baby.
We hope
Get
you listen
it
to us
down.
on the podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, pretty much anywhere. Spotify, the Radio Play thing, iHeartRadio,
That's
radio.com.
radio.com thing. Yeah.
One of those things. I don't know, wherever it is. We're everywhere, dude. We should have way more.
Roll it.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere. So coming up, we've got the best 15 Cowboy players in training camp so far as decided by the beat writers for DallasCowboys.com. But before that, Lance, we have –
Just call me by my real name.
Lance.
That's trouble.
Big Red. Big Red.
We have one Josh Hamilton entering the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame tomorrow. And I have some mixed feelings about this.
I do as well, but at the same time, would we have ever been where we got as
No.
a Rangers organization without said
No, and
Josh Hamilton.
I'm not saying I hate the guy. I did for a little while. I'm not going to lie.
Whenever they left, I hated him.
All of my kids had
him.
Josh Hamilton Rangers number 32 T-shirts. And guess what I did when he left for the Angels? And he literally dissed the entire Metroplex.
I hope you burned them.
Saying that we did. We had a ritual. We had a burning in the fireplace of all the Josh Hamilton paraphernalia. You like when I use that word, don't you?
Paraphernalia. It's another word.
In the house.
Word that you say that you can't spell.
I can spell it, just not right now. So, dude, I was at the height of my disdain for him. And then he went and got hurt again and literally did nothing for the Angels.
The Angels, yep.
I was so happy.
Yep.
Him and CJ can suck it because he went to the Angels too and sucked. But he is now being honored by John Daniels and the Rangers organization by placing him in the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame. Now, this is not a jersey retirement because that would be
not a
ludicrous.
number retirement, right? Not a number retirement.
He is just being placed next to Nolan Ryan, Pudge Rodriguez, Johnny Oates. I'm sure Beltre's in there. I can't remember who all's in the Rangers.
Mike Young in there yet?
Maybe. I don't know. But it's an honor for the club, and it's not everybody that gets in. So the more I've been thinking about Josh
This organization would not be where it's at or would not have been where it was without the man.
No, and when you look at the highlights of this franchise specifically, look at the highlights because there aren't that many.
The greatest home run derby of all time. And I know there was a lot of home runs hit this year.
Different format, though.
Different
does not
format. He got 10 outs. They were on time.
What was it, 26, 28 in 10 outs?
It was sick.
Well,
the dude was an animal.
There are 2 World Series years for this team, and he was instrumental in both of those seasons. Yes, we can talk Cliff Lee because he definitely helped us getting there.
Yes.
Helped us get there. That was a great trade from Seattle. Gave up literally what ended up being nothing to get Cliff Lee, by the way. But Josh Hamilton, we would not have been there offensively without Josh Hamilton. And he was still not yet a liability in the outfield. He still had some oomph out there and some range. He made some great defensive plays those years.
Killer arm and had hella range.
I just hate the way it ended.
Well, yeah.
He made some very disparaging remarks about DFW and Arlington as he was leaving town.
But how much of that is on his old lady?
Oh, I say 85% of it.
After watching some of the reality TV that I get to watch here in this house with the lovely Miss Big Red.
Do you call her that often?
No, I try not to. But she's a whole lot more for it than.
I feel like we need a drop that says
Big
Miss
Red, Big Red.
Than Miss IndyCar Tim. Yeah, Stacy's a whole lot more about that.
Dude, she is not on board with Lady IndyCar Tim.
No, not
or Madam.
Right.
Don't call her Madam.
No, don't.
Mike Reiner, I'm talking to you.
And we know you listen to this, so just.
So if it wouldn't have ended the way it was, I don't even care that he went to the Angels, a division rival. I do care, but that wasn't the worst part. The worst part of it was he gave a huge middle finger to the fan base here.
Not a baseball town.
As he left. It's like, see ya, I'm going to win championships. Well, did you? I don't think so.
Nope.
We didn't put that ring on your finger. They did. That marriage didn't last very long. Because the fan base there turned on you pretty quick when you failed to produce.
But again,
it wasn't your fault.
Is that his fault?
Nope.
Nope, it's not. Because everybody knew that his background, where he came from, the drug background, but he was also never a real durable player. But when he was healthy, he was one of the best in the game.
Dude, and I was thinking about this today. If I was to put together a list of, and I'm not saying the best Texas Rangers ever. I'm saying the Texas Rangers throughout history with the most raw talent and raw natural ability. He definitely is top 5, maybe top 3, maybe
at the top of the list.
Number 1.
Maybe the top.
Maybe number 1.
The dude was sick.
He was joy to watch when he was here.
Playing center field. Look at the size of the dude. was he 6'3"?
Oh, he's
6'4".
He's a big dude. He should not have that much range.
230 pounds. I mean, flying.
And muscle.
It's solid. I mean, I'm 6'3", 250, and
I'm 5'8", 279.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is what I look like. But I mean, this dude was awesome, and he was fun to watch, and to take a chance on him, to bring him in, and to get what he gave, not what we got out of him, but what he gave to the Rangers. Does he deserve to be in the Rangers Hall of Fame for that? Yes, I believe he does.
Yeah,
I believe he does.
I don't disagree with it. I'm not all up in arms. I'm not.
Does his wife, ex-wife, deserve to be mentioned?
No.
As an honorable mention, because it was I have a feeling it was her that drove him out of town.
Oh, no, there is no question that's what happened. She wanted the lights of L.A.
Well, and now she's got the lights of a 20-something-year-old rap artist bullshit.
Does she really?
Yes. I mean, from what I'm seeing, from what I've seen,
she wasn't that hot either, was she?
She's pretty.
Was she?
She's pretty hot. Yeah.
I don't even remember what she looked like.
You've had. I know you've
probably had worse.
I know you've had worse.
I probably had worse.
I know you've had worse.
Well, I love this for him. It's a good moment for the organization. Coming on the heels of Adrian Beltre, and we understand Mike Young will soon follow. Still not sure why that hasn't happened yet.
It's got to, dude.
But
because that dude.
Now, Mike Young, retire his number. So nobody should wear number 10 ever again.
Let's talk about the Mount Rushmore of the Rangers.
Okay.
Is Mike Young on
just
your
players?
Just players. Just players.
Because I would put Tom Vandergriff at the top of the mountain.
Well, because
we were going organization-wise.
Right. God bless you, sir.
Nolan.
Yes.
So just players.
Just players.
I will give you Nolan and Pudge. They have to be no-brainers, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yes. But, yeah. Well,
who are you disagreeing with, Nolan or Pudge?
Nolan. I mean, I am the biggest Nolan fan, but did Nolan make a huge statement here when he was here? He did amazing.
Well, he threw 2 no-hitters here.
He did amazing things when he was here, but did he make that statement when he was here as a player? And that's
I think he brought national attention to the club in a time when had none.
But
when they played in that armpit of a stadium, which I love.
But I did too, because Daddy and I went to a lot of ball games and saw a lot of great players come in and out of there and stood outside the Sheraton, and I caught a lot of autographs as a kid.
Oh yeah.
But yes, so
well then let's not put Nolan in. Let's go 3 more.
Okay.
So Pudge, though, we agree on Pudge.
Pudge is in.
I would put in Michael Young.
Absolutely.
Had to be a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
Throwing other players out there. I'm trying to think of significant pitchers. Do you put Kenny Rogers on simply based on his perfect game?
You don't put him in there based on his perfect game. You put him in there as from his longevity and what he did for the club, not just his perfect game.
So you think Kenny Rogers?
Possibly.
Okay.
He's on the far outside, maybe looking in.
His application has been turned in, not yet approved.
Right. We have not yet approved his application.
What about Juan Gonzalez?
Wando. Senor
Who was an amazing player while he was here, yet has vanished off the face of the earth since retirement under allegations of drug use and steroid use.
Well, I mean.
But all of them back then were accused of that.
That happens. I mean, and I'm not going to hold that against him, but what he did here was phenomenal.
You know who I might put in place of Wando? Paul Merrow.
What about Will Clark?
Will Clark is my favorite first baseman of all time for the Rangers.
He
wasn't here long enough.
But how much more did Paul Merrow, in your stance, how much more did Paul Merrow do than Will Clark? Will Clark was the sheriff, dude. There was not anything that happened in that clubhouse.
It amazes me he's not in management somewhere now.
Did not get the approval of the great Will Clark. I love that.
No,
dude.
I agree with that, but he wasn't here long. What was he here? 5 years?
Wasn't long, but I mean,
him and Paul Merrill just switched places for the most part.
Basically.
But no, dude, Will the Thrill, that was my dude.
Yeah,
that was my dude.
He was. I loved his attitude.
I had that number 22 jersey, dude.
He just he did his thing, and then there are so many guys that you could put on. But if you got to pick 4, you got to pick 4. So right now we're at Pudge, and we're at
Michael Young,
Mike Young,
Adrian Beltre.
AB has got to be there. I mean, he was here, wasn't here in the early days when they were making that run, but he was here for the World Series days. But who was more fun to watch?
Nobody was more fun to watch than Adrian Beltre.
Between him and
Elvis?
Him and Elvis, the shenanigans that went on between shortstop and second base, and the stuff that happened between those two. I mean, there was no funner dude to watch in the major leagues.
So there's a name for you for consideration. Elvis Andrus.
Longevity, based on longevity and where he's come from,
playing the hardest position there is to play.
I would not reject him immediately, but that's another guy that's on the list that's outside looking in.
You know who I would not under any circumstances put in? A-Rod.
No.
I almost forgot he even played for the Rangers.
He was here for the money. Was he a great player? Yes, he was a great player career-wise. Yes. But would I allow him on my Mount Rushmore?
No.
Mount
I would
Ranger
not allow
Moore?
him to be the face of any franchise I'm associated with.
No. How about – let me think. How about Rusty Greer?
I love me some Rusty, but again –
the hard nose, get it done. I'm going to make it happen whether come hell or high water. I'm going to get it done.
There's probably a lot of players from that era, from the mid to late 90s, on the first division winning teams.
That whole ball club was nothing but that. I mean,
Kenny Hill was a badass pitcher, dude, for them at that time.
He was.
But he didn't do it very long.
Roger Pavlik. What?
Yeah, no, he wasn't bad. But
does he deserve to be on the Mount Rushmore? No, but he was a hell of a ball player at that time. I mean, he was there. Helling?
Rick Helling.
Rick Helling, the Bulldog. We threw that dude out there. He ate up innings every damn 5 days.
So I'll tell you what.
That dude ate innings for breakfast.
Let's do that. Let's give it some thought separately, individually, and let's do this next week.
Okay, I'm in.
You do your 4, I'll do my 4. I guarantee we're going to cross paths there at 1 or 2 or 3. Maybe.
I bet we get 3 alike.
You think? Okay. We know we got 2 alike. So
I bet we do.
So let's do that next week and give it some thought. And in the meantime, we may put it out on social media for everybody to send us their Texas Rangers Mount Rushmore.
Let's put a poll out there and let people weigh in.
See who belongs, and maybe give them some participation opportunities on the show next week.
Maybe we hook a phone up and have some people call in and debate.
Well, I wouldn't be against that. So, moving on, we don't want to spend too much time on this because we do have the top 15 players.
I'm sorry, we got
for the Dallas Cowboys training camp coming up.
I'm sorry, Jeb, I got us off topic again.
And some of those names are going to surprise you, but I want to talk about Brooks Koepka for 1 second because
he's Johnny Gerber's favorite freaking player on the tour.
Was not going to go there. Not going to go there.
Love you, JGZ.
John, that was all Lance. I had nothing to do with that comment. So the odds have come out already. So take your picks for the next for all 4 majors next year, the winners.
Mm-hmm. And he's head and shoulders above the class, I'm sure.
He is favored to win 3 of the 4 in 2020. And I don't know that I would bet against that.
The only one he's not, and I don't know, but I'm guessing the British.
Well, let's go through it.
I don't know where the British is at, but if I'm thinking the way he plays golf and horses for courses, he plays U.S. majors as well as anybody in the damn world right now.
So let's see. Good Lord, I can't read shit. So
Here, you some
he
glasses?
became, yeah, I probably do. So he became just the 4th golfer in history to finish top 5 in all 4 majors in a single season, including his
He's
win
awesome.
at the PGA Championship
Yep.
as one of the favorites at plus 1,000. Koepka also finished runner-up at the Masters, where Tiger, of course, won.
Right.
Both FanDuel and BetStars took a bath with a plus 10,000 long shot promo off Ron Woods at the Masters. I didn't know that. I bet they did.
I wish I had money on that.
Woods and Koepka have been the
Laugh
most
at
bet
me.
on golfers in 2019, according to DraftKings.
Yep.
So, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, let's see, the 2020 golf majors odds. Of course, Koepka is at top of the. I'm trying to see which one he's not. Oh, the PGA Championship.
Really? So where do you have that? Where that's at? This
So
year?
I have
Because
for the
we got-
Masters. I don't know if these are in order of how they're played. I guess so. Masters.
The
looks like
Masters
comes
will
up
be
first.
first. Masters will be
Brooks
first.
Koepka at plus 800. Tiger Woods at plus 900.
Tiger's always going to be in the top of that field until he completely bails out,
Until he retires.
and breaks down, because he knows every blade of grass on that track.
Oh no, you're right. It was the British Open.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the numbers backwards.
Right.
So PGA Championship shows next. Brooks Koepka plus 800. Tiger Woods also at plus 800.
Right.
Amazingly so. The U.S. Open. Brooks Koepka plus 800. Tiger Woods plus 1,400. They also have Dustin Johnson at plus 900 for the U.S. Open.
Some futures bets for you folks.
Yep, so getting into the British Open, and Lance was absolutely correct. We have Brooks Koepka at plus 1,000, and for whatever reason, they have Rory McIlroy. I can't say that name.
Don't try to say it drunk, because it doesn't work out well. I
It's probably a cuss word when I say it drunk.
I may have tried
Rory
to say that last week.
McIlroy plus 900.
Does it show you don't have where they're playing next year?
No, it doesn't have that.
No.
Doesn't have it listed. I'm sure we could find that.
John Gerber text me and let me know, or Bustle text me and let me know where they're playing,
So Brooks Koepka
or Jeb, whoever.
has a really good shot, at least according to the odds, of winning the Grand Slam.
He ought to, because he's the number 1 player in the world. I mean, and that's the way that shit works.
So badass. Man, I love watching him play.
He's fun. Yeah, I mean.
Sorry, Gerb. He's fun to watch play. I didn't say he was good for the game.
Oh, that's
Not
stuck.
even close.
That's stuck. Yeah, right behind.
Big red. Big red.
Ooh,
So,
Oh,
Lance,
yeah.
are you aware that there's this thing going on right now? So there's this game. I don't know if you're familiar with it or aware of it. It's called football.
Football.
It is not the same football that they play around the
Is
world.
that the black and white ball? No. Good, because I know
Starting to feel this Miller Lite right now.
I know jack shit about that.
So every year, DallasCowboys.com beat writers come out with the top 15 players of training camp
Football.
at this point.
Football ball.
And this year is no different. The staff writers voted on best performers of training camp out in Oxnard. They've still got some work back in Dallas, but the heavy lifting of camp is done in Oxnard. Of course, they're in Hawaii tomorrow.
They let the fish left out.
Got
I think
a text from him, by the way.
Yeah, he
Picture of the ocean and the beach.
right left Oxnard, came home, did a show, kissed his wife, got on another plane and left.
See ya.
So Miss Fish, we don't know if you're listening or not, but much love, and if you want to come hang out with a couple of good dudes while Daddy's gone, we're here.
We'll take care of her.
We got you, Fish. We got you.
So the top player probably won't be a surprise, but there's a bunch on here that have never made a Pro Bowl.
Who's the top player?
You'll see.
No, give me. You got 15, right?
I got 15. So the beat writers watched every practice. They put together this list, and it kicks off with one of the most underrated players on the team.
So we got Fish in there, right? We got Acha,
Todd Archer.
Todd Acha, as the great Randy Galloway used to say. Acha.
Hey, Todd Archer.
You can't hate him.
Not a fan of Todd Archer.
I love Randy Galloway, so I'm going to say it.
Are we on the air? Hello? Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Love you, Todd Archer.
It's on.
Don't tell him I said that. Don't tell him I said that. All right, number 15 is a linebacker. You will not get it.
No?
Joe Thomas.
I heard good things about him
The
on the
notes
radio.
on Joe Thomas are he often gets lost in the shuffle on a linebacker core that includes Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, and Sean Lee. But he maintained a huge level of intensity on the field when Lee was out.
Dude, you know what's going to happen,
and
right?
has a place here in
You know what's going to
2019.
happen? We're going to go through this 15, and I'm going to get excited and pumped up, and we're going to have a tackling demo right here.
God, not with my knees.
Right here in the
I'm
middle.
not your tackling dummy, sir. Number 14 is one of my favorite Cowboys. Offensive lineman, Joe Looney.
Dude.
Notes on Joe Looney. He started in 2018 for Travis Frederick and performed nicely. Should have taken a back seat when Frederick came back.
The Cowboys would not have been where they ended up without Mr. Looney. And I tell you what, we met him.
Hardly a noticeable drop-off.
We met him. Well, come on now. We're talking about I love Joe Looney. Love him. And he replaced an all-pro, a perennial all-pro.
Maybe the best player in his position.
Maybe the best player in his position in the league
in 100
today.
years.
I don't know about 100 years. Come on, dog.
Is that okay? It's too much.
But he, besides the fact that he was a absolute one of the coolest dudes at Frederick's party.
He was cool, man.
He was awesome.
Cool. He was very cool.
And
we had fun hanging out with him.
He would just, he is an incredible human being, lovely wife, but we would never have been where we were without him stepping up and playing the kind of football that he played last year. God bless you.
So we
Mr.
know he
Looney.
can play center, he can play guard, short yardage situations, he can play tackle.
He likes to hit people in the mouth.
His versatility is what gives him a spot on this team. Number 13, Connor Williams, another offensive lineman. He's bigger, he's stronger, and it shows.
Get it, boy.
Everyone's high on Connor Williams. Number 12, Jordan Lewis.
He's always in the mix, man. He likes to he likes to do this.
So he didn't fit when Chris Richard came on. Chris Richard likes these big, tall corners, these big, tall defensive backs. Jordan Lewis ain't one of those.
He's not. But you remember whenever Dez was still around during All or Nothing.
Yeah.
It was Jordan Lewis that was running his gums against Dez. Could Dez beat him?
Nope.
No, he could not.
Dez is a piece of garbage.
No, come on now. Dez is still we'll get into that one day.
Number 11, Tony Pollard at running back. If running backs could be more fully evaluated during training camp, he would probably be higher. He's had a handful of plays that show his speed and is unmatched, and the D could not have tackled them even if they were allowed to. So in camp you can't tackle the running backs
because we don't play real football anymore
because of the collective bargaining agreement. Number 10, Jason Witten, the number 10 player according to DallasCowboys.com.
So give me your spiel about
Veterans don't have to prove it every single day, but need to show they still have it once in a while. He's shown he is back and seemingly at the same level as before, if not fresher. He's had some eye-opening plays in the red zone this offseason where the Cowboys struggled last year.
I will never badmouth the man Jason Witten. Because
Dude, we met him, and he is freaking huge.
Yes,
I had no idea he was that big.
Because of the pro that he is, the man that he is, and again, is he a top-notch tight end in the league anymore? I venture a guess saying no.
There's no way.
But the leadership that he brings to that locker room and being on the field to be able to pick people up and to lead them in the right direction, I'm happy he's back.
Well, just because he's not a top-tier running tight end in the league doesn't mean he can't contribute to this team.
He will, and he will greatly. Maybe he gets us 7 when we need 8, but I don't care. I mean,
he's not going to run from that run after catch stat will not be high for him this year.
But he is still the consummate professional football player.
I don't even want to get into number 9.
Give it to me.
Because I don't have time for a Lance rant right now.
Give it to me, Tim. Give it to me, Tim.
But number 9 is Dak Prescott. He's not perfect every day, but attribute that to the fact that he's learning a new offense on the fly.
He's not learning a new offense, man. He's not. No, he's not.
That's what they wrote. They're the writers.
But he's not. He's not learning a new offense, dude.
Do you have the playbook?
It's the same damn offense.
How do you know that?
Because Jason Garrett is not going to let them change the entire damn offense, man.
I disagree 100%.
But again, we have talked about it before. I do not question
This is why I didn't want to do number 9.
I do not question the man. I don't question the man.
I'm not saying you are. I think you're wrong. It's a new offense.
Is he worth $36 million a year?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Utah says he is.
Wrong.
So keep in mind, he's not allowed to run. He's learning a new offense, according to me and everyone in the world except for you.
Offense. It's the same damn
So the
offense.
things that he has shown show improvement. He's even connected with, what's-his-face, Michael Gallup. On
Well, he hadn't thrown 5 interceptions in a row.
Not that was reported, at least.
Exactly.
Number
Absolutely.
8. So we can all agree Lance is on board with number 9. Number 8, Jalen Smith, linebacker.
Awesome human.
Every day, Jalen Smith makes a couple of plays in practice that make you believe he's ready for a breakout season. His pass coverage skills have improved, and that's where he lacked last year.
Can you imagine how badass that son of a bitch would be if he hadn't blown out his knee in his last college game ever?
Yeah, he wouldn't be a Dallas Cowboy right now.
No, he wouldn't.
So I'm happy it happened.
But no,
I'm cheer for injuries, but
the dude is awesome, and Fish is a huge fan.
Oh yeah. Well, how can you not? Other than the fact he went to Notre Dame, which is a shit school that needs to be burned to the ground.
I was a huge Notre Dame fan growing up.
God, I hate Notre Dame.
My daddy went up there and visited South Bend and brought me back a whole lot of stuff, and I was hooked.
I hate Notre Dame so much.
That's fine because you're a fucking Aggie.
Gig 'em, baby.
Yeah.
Number
I'm there
7,
too.
Leighton Vander Esch.
The Wolf Hunter.
Again, not an easy position to evaluate in camp since they don't really tackle, but we know he's a good tackler based on last year. This year, he's already proven to be bigger and stronger than last season, if you can even imagine that.
And where do you think those two get it? Where do you think they have gotten it from, besides their natural ability? And
some on-field coaching? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, Sean Lee.
Who, by the way, is not on his list.
It doesn't
But
matter.
that's okay.
It doesn't matter.
No,
It's fine.
That's fine.
Still,
He doesn't need to show improvement.
no, he does
These
not.
young guys are the ones that need to be showing improvement.
And another great human being that we met at Travis Frederick's deal. But that guy they could cut him tomorrow and pay him the same money to be a coach and be just as beneficial to this team.
And I'm guessing that's probably going to happen.
Eventually it will.
Number 6, Dorrance Armstrong, defensive end. Another overlooked player on this team. The notes say that he's showing bursts off the edge, which he didn't show last year, and he should have an expanded role in the rotation this season. He faces Tyron Smith every day and has won some of those battles. So if you can hang with Tyron Smith in practice,
dude,
you're golden, man.
One of the most badass left tackles in the game, yes.
And, with Robert Quinn being suspended 4 games, we're not super deep at defensive end, so we kind of need him to step up and show us something.
And if what they're saying is happening, I'm not cringing, but the whole thing, Jeb and I talked about this today on the golf course. If the season started today, how fucked would we be?
I don't think as fucked as we think we would be.
With the guys that we got out, the guys that were recovering from surgery, we got Tank.
Tank's probably
there.
If it started today,
we got
you're
Zeke,
right. He'll be good
there.
to go. If the season started today, Zeke would be on the team. Lawrence will be fine for the start of the season.
And I know he's on the list, but do you actually
Tyron
think
Smith will be good to start the season?
Do you actually think that Zeke will pass up one of those $250,000 game checks?
No, dude, he'll be here for
no, he
game
won't.
1.
He'll
That's
be
not
back.
a question. Number 5, Chidobe Awuzie.
Chidobe Awuzie.
He stepped in with Byron Jones sitting out all of camp with an injury and has covered the top receiver each day, whoever that was.
Get it, dog.
Batting down passes, and he has
like
the most
the kid.
interceptions in camp thus far.
Love the kid.
Dude, I do too, man. Another guy that I love, number 4, Xavier Woods.
He was at the gig. He was at the gig.
Yes, he was.
Yep.
says the team has stood behind Woods the last 2 years when fans and the media have begged the team to upgrade its safety.
The only reason I knew it was him, he walked by and he had Woods tattooed on his damn backside of his arm.
Yep.
I was like, hey, look at that. That's him.
It says in camp this year, we see why the Cowboys have stuck with him. He's got improved lateral range and shows he can be a sideline-to-sideline player. So all of these young guys are getting better,
son.
and that's what we're looking for. Number 3, Michael Gallup. As good as the defensive backs have been in camp, they still have had a problem with covering Michael Gallup. He looks completely different this season and no longer looks like a rookie.
So you got Cooper at the X. You got Cobb at the Z. Is Gallup your Y?
I think Gallup's your Z.
The Z is the slot, right? We're talking about
Oh, well, no, Cobb is your slot.
Cobb is your slot.
Okay.
So
Wherever those letters go,
but
Cobb is your slot.
if-
Those are your 3 starting wide receivers.
Kavanaugh, if I'm wrong, brother, please correct me. But
Kavanaugh is not one of the wide receivers on the roster.
but he's one of the most knowledgeable
He would know.
football players that we know.
Number 2, Malik Collins.
Okay.
He's been durable, practicing every single day, and has been dominant on his side of the ball all camp long.
I promise you, dude, showing up every damn day and busting ass in camp will make you money.
So here's some insight I got from Fish. So last week, Jerry Jones in an interview may have referenced a contract negotiation that's going on right now that is not one of the ones that everyone's talking about, and it is Malik Collins, who is an unrestricted free agent after next year, and Jerry wants to hang on to him as tight as he possibly can.
Why wouldn't you?
He's a badass. And number 1, the number 1 most impressive Cowboy in camp, according to DallasCowboys.com beat writers, number 77, Tyron Smith. And they say it is no surprise.
If the dude can just stay healthy, man,
That back scares me, man.
he is one of the baddest human beings in the NFL.
But the Cowboys are deep enough to where I believe they can rest him when they need to and not put that back at nearly as much risk as they.
He does not need to touch the
Otherwise
field during the rest of the
He will not touch
preseason
the field
games.
during preseason.
He does not.
He didn't even make the trip to Hawaii.
Good.
He's in Dallas getting
I
treatment on his
hope
back.
he is at home with his wife rubbing his back and
I
making
don't want
sure
him to
he's
do
comfortable.
that because you can injure yourself having sex.
I said rubbing
I've
his
seen
back.
it.
I said
I
rubbing his
misunderstood.
back.
Well, that leads to other stuff.
Well,
At my house,
I've got memes that says otherwise. Exactly. That's what the memes that I have. Yeah, back rubs turn into.
so our notes say that Tyron Smith at number 1 is no surprise. Smith and Elliott have been the team's best players the past few years. Smith is getting healthier and will have the opportunity to rest. He didn't make the trip to Hawaii so he could rest. He will be ready for the season to start.
And just think about this, folks. Whenever Zeke finally grabs his left ear with his right hand and his right ear with his left hand.
Is that going to happen?
And pulls until it pops, he will show up, and we will be awesome.
Is that going to happen? Or are we going to trade him?
Jerry is not going to get – dude, he's got 2 years left. And
I don't understand this,
if you get the right piece, the right trade, yeah, trade him. Fuck him. But you know what?
Man,
he is, and he's not listed right now. He's listed right now ADP in fantasy football. He's listed as the number 6 running back, I believe. I'm not looking at my numbers, but 6 or 7. And with that being said, he's only 6 or 7 because he's not in camp, and they're worried about him not showing up.
Can you read what I just put on my screen right here?
No,
it's on my screen.
Why is Zeke holding out? Is he really an idiot?
So this isn't on the run sheet, and we don't have a lot of time. We got to get out of here. But I have.
We're going somewhere else to drink
discuss
beer,
this.
aren't we?
Yeah, you know where we're going. Dude, you know, I get where he's slotted as a running back. I get where he's slotted as the 4th overall pick. I know that the running back position in the NFL has been devalued. That's all we hear. Those salaries are going down while every single other position is going up. I understand that. But, fucker, you got fucking 2 years left on your fucking contract.
Get your ass in camp.
Get the fuck to camp.
Yep.
Play the game that you are being paid to fucking play.
That's why we love you.
And show your fucking face.
That's why we love you, Big
Get
Tim.
off your high horse.
That's why we love you.
Before Jerry sits your ass, and you don't get anything.
That's why we love you.
The only reason.
That's the truth.
The only fucking reason he's even getting credit for this season while he's not in camp right now is because Jerry already picked up your 5th-year option, you bitch.
We got the other two triplets that are on their last year of their contracts,
and they're
both
in camp.
They're both busting their ass in camp. And am I a huge fan of giving Dak Prescott $30+ million a year? No. Does he deserve? We're not going to go into that. Amari Cooper deserves every dime that he wants. To me, he does, because without Amari Cooper, last year does not happen. That offense completely changed whenever Amari Cooper came on the scene. Completely changed. So, but yes, that has been my argument about Zeke the entire time, is that, dude, you got 2 years left. Are you going to hold out now? So, August 6th.
If this happened next year,
August 6th is done and gone. So, if he shows up week 1 to play, does he get the year back?
Yes. No, and that's what I was saying earlier. That August 6th deadline didn't mean shit because the Cowboys have already picked up his 5th-year option, already automatically giving him that 4th-year tenure. That was reported in error by whoever the fuck reported it. That August 6th deadline meant nothing.
Slater, was that you?
Oh, she reports everything else that's in error.
If it was, you can come here and argue with me. You can sit right here.
Sit between us and argue it.
We'll talk about it.
Yes, no, the August 6th deadline to the NFL, whoever the hell reported that meant zero. It meant absolutely nothing.
Love you, Jane.
Because the Cowboys have already picked up his 5th-year option. So he already automatically has that next year of tenure or service or whatever the hell you want to call it.
But he still has 2 years left.
Still has 2 years left on
his
contract.
That has been my argument about him the whole time. Dude will show up or he won't get paid.
And I think he'll be back. But you know what? I will never look at him the same.
Nope. He was there that night.
Yeah, he was there.
And he's a whole lot bigger than I thought he was.
That is a big dude.
Dude walked by, even though he looked like Sideshow Bob with his hair all.
And you're not a fan of his beard. We've had that conversation before.
Because
his beard game is weak.
Dude, it's coming up on Harden. His beard is coming up on Harden.
I oiled mine right
so I
before
mean,
I came over
looks.
here.
He's got this going on, and Sideshow Bob going on, and am I a fan? No, I'm not. I guarantee you, the dude's helmet is 4 sizes bigger than it needs to be to get all that hair in it.
Well, whatever. He's not
As
here,
you were.
so it doesn't matter.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
It's just, dude, it irks me, man. It just irks me. That
And if
he's
he's
doing
not-
this for 2 years.
If I draft him in my fantasy football league next Sunday, if I draft him,
Are you going to be brave and do that?
if he's available, I might.
Really?
I might.
We might have to talk about that.
Well, of course, last year I did the whole Le'Veon Bell shit with the first pick of the draft.
Oh, where'd that get you?
7th place out of 12.
Yeah, that wasn't a good pick.
It hurt. It hurt bad.
All right. Well, again, as a reminder, August 25th, we will be live from Two Brothers Bar and Grill in Plano on Preston Road, just to the south of 121.
Yep.
We hope to see you there. Like I said, the show will probably kick off 8:39, something like that. But get there early. Come have a beer with us. Come do some shots with us.
Probably going to be in the back bar inside where we can be cool. I mean, you and I have kind of gotten accustomed to the last 2 weeks in the air conditioning. I don't stink near as bad after a show now.
I don't have to wash my clothes. Well, I still do. Oh, that brings me. Oh, dude.
Bam.
No, I don't want to talk about that tonight.
No? What?
It might make me gag.
No, come on. Give it to me. Give it to me.
No, we'll
Tim.
talk about
Give
it next
to me,
week
Tim.
because I want to spend some time on it. About the percentage of
You don't
people,
want me to spin off and go on.
About the percentage of people that were polled that do not change their underwear daily.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, we're going to need some time for that one, right?
No, we don't need any time for that because if you don't change your underwear daily, you're a heathen.
I have to look that up.
Heathen?
I kind of know what it is, but is it appropriate in this scenario?
Absolutely.
All right.
I mean,
absolutely.
I've been in the military and I have turned my underwear wrong side out for the second day, but I mean, other than that, we change.
Well, hey, we owe one more commercial break. We got some other commercials. You guys listen in. We got some special people on this one, and then we're going to shut it down after that. But tune in,
Ladybird,
pay attention, and we'll be right back.
Love y'all.
The Highlands Performance Golf Center is a proud sponsor of the Drunk Sports Podcast, and now we're giving back to its listeners. In the month of August, reference Big Red or IndyCar Tim to any of our staff members and receive 15% off your individual range bucket. The Highlands Performance Golf Center, located in Carrollton, Texas, is North Dallas's premier practice facility. Visit us at www.highlandspgc.com. And now back to the boys.
I drink Dr. Pepper and I'm proud. I used to be alone in a crowd, but now you look around these days, there seems to be a Dr. Pepper craze. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, if you drink Dr. Pepper, you're a pepper too. Us peppers are an interesting breed. An original taste is what we need. Ask any pepper and he'll say, only Dr. Pepper tastes that way. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Come on. Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Right. Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Honest Ed's Used Cars, where every car we sell is backed by an ironclad guarantee that is so complete and comprehensive that we really don't see any need to put it in writing. And remember Honest Ed's motto, if any used car dealer anywhere in the country says he can sell you the same car cheaper than we will, then he's even a bigger liar than I am.
GoGreenSolarScreens.com. Save energy with custom solar screens from GoGreenSolarScreens.com. GoGreenSolarScreens.com. Save money and energy with a home improvement that pays for itself. Check out GoGreenSolarScreens.com.
Hi, friends. It's Chris Bussell, General Manager of the Highlands Performance Golf Center in Carrollton, Texas. The Golf Center is North Dallas's premier practice facility. With over 65 grass tees, 2 putting greens, a short game area, and covered heated tees, it's the best place to practice your game all year round. Come see us in Carrollton, Texas, off Trinity Mills Road, halfway between Marsh and Midway, or visit the website at www.highlandspgc.com. Now back to Big Red and IndyCar Tim.
Totally did that for you. Welcome back to the Drug Sports Podcast. I'm IndyCar Tim. This is my partner, Big Red himself.
Yes, sir.
Big Red. Big Red.
And,
Space Lord, man.
We kind of went off on a little rant about Zeke, which is good. Rants are good in the podcast world. But we had to pay some bills, too, and get this stuff out of the way, and we appreciate everybody listening. By the way, we've mentioned it a couple times. It's been on both of the commercial breaks. The Highlands Performance Golf Center offering a special for our podcast listeners. Head on out there, go to the driving range, mention IndyCar Tim or Big Red to any of the staff members. You get 15% off your first bucket. Hit all the balls you want. They've got that covered.
Just not
driving
mine.
range. Don't hit my balls. I ain't going to be
just
there.
Just not mine. They're kind of not really functional right now.
They've got the year-round driving range. It's heated. It's covered when it rains. They got all sorts of stuff. They're open year-round except for Christmas.
September 14th, there will be a demo day. TaylorMade will be out there. You can hit damn near every club they've got in their package. Go out there, swing some sticks, find something from TaylorMade that you want to hit. And
fun.
There is an outside possibility that we may be on location that day.
That'd be fun. We did one before, and
we
that was
did.
a blast.
We
man.
did. But it's also the weekend after my birthday, and it's 50, and I may be drunk somewhere.
We know what happens on birthday weekend.
I may be face down in the lake somewhere.
Got us fired up another gig. Well, I won't let you go face down in the lake. I'll come save you. So we appreciate everybody.
Who got us fired for our last game?
I said me. It was a birthday. I said it was a birthday weekend.
Okay.
That was all me.
Just want to make sure.
We appreciate everybody joining us for this episode. We appreciate you letting us come into your car, your iPod, your phone, your stereo, your satellite, whatever the hell you're listening to us on.
Thank you for tolerating my four-legged kids running around because
we did have dogs
awesome.
in studio.
They're awesome.
We are the Drunk Sports Podcast. I'm NASCAR Tim. He's Big Red. Thanks for being a part of this one. And I'm going to give it to my partner to get us out of here.
Again, as always, thank you for joining us, for letting us come into your lives and talk to you about the BS that we do. And we always have fun. But remember, there's people out there that are struggling and trying to get by day to day. And the black rings, I don't have mine on. It's actually on my key ring because I played golf today and I haven't put it back on. But just remember, if you have troubles and demons are haunting you, don't hesitate. Look me up on Facebook, Twitter. You know where to find me. Email me, call me. I'll give you my number. And we love you, and we don't want you to fight this alone. I fought it myself, but we're good. We love you. Thank you so much for joining us. Come back and see us next week. We'll see you. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Drunk Sports Podcast. Join us next time for more alcohol and more drunk sports talk with Big Red and IndyCar Tim. My name is Troy Hughes. I'm a tourist, and I enjoy long walks on the beaches of Lake Bachman. That is when the fecal matter isn't between my toes. Until next time, here's to ya.
We're all drunk.
This is the funnest night ever.
Surprise, I'm here.
Is that blood?